And we are live. Aloha, familia. Welcome to the three-part web series between myself and Zulu Flow Zion, Reframing ROI. This is episode 1, Hacking Flow States for Return on Investment. Aloha, everyone tuning into you from San Diego, California. I'm going to add Mr. Zulu in this heezy. You guys are tuning in, like, get ready for that deep dive. There he is. Palo Santo's burning.
That's Flow fan.
That's Flow fan, yeah. It worked. It worked seamlessly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
That's what we
talking
like to
about here.
see. What we like to see seamlessly.
Yes. All right. Well, as I was saying,
Hey man, thanks so
fam,
much for jumping in on this and making it happen. It's what it's all about. I love
yeah,
how easily it flowed too, with the ease and the effortlessness it was. In the past we've had some stuff and it's been like, oh, I can't make it. And then this time it was just everything was just boom, 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 just like
right.
dominoes falling.
It was quick, man. Divine timing, divine alignment, divine momentum. That's what I'm talking about. Meant to be. We're staying the course here. Wow. And so honored to be collaborating with you again, brother. Like, it's been an epic journey. Every time we do a video or a riff together, been on your podcast, it's a joy. I enjoy our flow state. So I'm happy to share it with the good people in this episode.
Magic happens. Let's tell the people a little bit about what it is.
Yeah. So Zulu and I have been doing a lot of work with flow, both Qigong practitioners. He's a spiral practitioner. We're coaches, thinkers and doers on this issue of achieving flow. So we thought we'd really want to zoom in on ROI, something you hear a lot, right? As entrepreneurs, as businessmen and women, we hear about ROI a lot, return on investment. And this series, in episode 1 of 3, we wanted to talk about how to hack the flow state and step into flow states to create ROI. That is wealth. So we're talking about abundance here, familia, the dollar bills. That is just the energetics of money, and flow states have so much in common. And this is where purpose, value offering, and our gifts really come into alignment, is when we can feel good about them and receive energetics back for them. And so this is going to be part 1 of ROI, and we got some exciting stuff in episode 2 and 3, but we wanted to start at the root. Money is such a core root issue. And if you look up into the entrepreneurial, the spiritual community, the new age community, you know, you see that flow state isn't just like an option. It's actually the only place you can create a sustainable and life-giving business from. And I really believe that. You see this with professional athletes, business elite, all the people in industry and in the world out there in the mainstream, the people that create the most and have the most wealth and abundance, they're experts at their flow state, whether they know it or not, right? Because some people may not have this perspective and they just think they're just performing, they're crushing it. But as we know, it's actually a studied phenomenon, right? And so Zulu, maybe you just like to get into this. I want to touch on something you brought up that was amazing, which was the chakras and the model or map of the chakras and which chakras we're hitting with this first conversation of getting flow
Yeah,
state to return on investment.
it's a great model, man. Using that model. Well, I pretty much use that model in everything. I'm running a 7-day challenge currently, and each day is themed upon each of the chakras, and I feel that it's really useful because it's kind of this transcendent journey that we're going on, and we love the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell. So it's really going on this journey of really taking care of your needs on all the levels, and this is what we're layering over this series, and we want to touch on first and foremost the base, the root chakra, the foundation, the basics. When you really master the foundations, that's when you become a master. And you look at Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee says he fears the man who has practiced one kick 1,000 times versus the guy who knows 1,000 kicks, and he.
Totally.
So it's the same idea here. We just get really solid with the basics and the foundation and set a strong, if you build a building on weak foundations, doesn't matter how high tech, how amazing your architecture is, how amazing the tools are, the what am I thinking about? All like the can't think of the right word, the materials. That's what we call it,
Sure.
the materials that you're using. It doesn't matter about that. You could have the fanciest technique, the fanciest, even the principles. If they're amazing, but they're based on a weak foundation or a wobbly foundation, then at the end of the day, the building's going to fall over and
Right.
it's going to lose its integrity. So that's what we want to ensure, that we give you the basics, give everyone the basics of, really cultivating this strong sense of ROI. And when we talk about chakras, we talk about first chakra or the root chakra, and this is your vitality, your physicality, looking after your health, really feeling the aliveness in the body. And very closely related here is our worth and our sense of deserving, so our
Right.
self-worth. And if you look up the root of the word wealth, it actually is the same as the root of the word worth. So when,
Yes.
if you look at, if we have a high self-worth, then that is often reflected in our bank accounts. And
Bingo.
also reflected in our ability to generate value. If we don't feel like we're worthwhile, then how can we give, first and foremost ourselves, but then how can that then flow onto ourselves, onto those around us, and we can give value in the world. And you look at anybody, whether you like them or not, these people are creating a lot of wealth, they're giving a lot of value. It's impossible not to.
Totally.
So that is the base level, that root chakra. And then we're looking at also the community, the tribe, what you had a live earlier today about the sexuality, that sacred
Right. The
sexuality. This is
sensuality.
this is all about the sacral chakra and the sacredness. So, when we're creating from that, we talked about it earlier about creating, literally creating from a space of flow, then everything becomes effortless. Everything, we connect with others. We feel like we actually have something to contribute into the world. And when we feel contributive and we feel like we're being a beneficial presence to our community, that's again when we start to have that return on investment, and we
Bingo.
really wanted to touch on that, and then moving into the identity, the power, the radiance, the brilliance, being okay with being a shining, brilliant being, as Marianne Williamson says. She says, it's not, we don't fear not being, we don't, it's not the failure that we fear, it's the success and being
Right.
bright. And this is the thing that stops a lot of us. Oh, we don't want to shine too bright because it might
Yep.
hurt people,
Yep.
but when we really own this, this is, it's like igniting the flame in others. When we are able to shine bright and shine, this is radiance. It's the solar plexus for a reason. You look at the sun, it shines. It doesn't give a damn about
Oh yeah.
what weather it is. It doesn't give a about how it just shines. So really cultivating a strong sense of that today. So this is episode 1. Then we'll move into the heart, the expression, next level, and then the vision and the purpose, episode 3. So make sure you tune in, put it in your calendar, same time every week for the next few weeks. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go, Ben.
Excited. Yeah, excited, guys. This is about that inner security, the inner creativity, and the inner power and identity, right? We're hitting the first 3 chakras, which if you look at spiritual, physical, economic evolution, much of the world is still operating from these 3, right? You don't have a ton of the world operating in the heart yet, and a ton of the world operating up in the higher centers, which is for a reason, right? Like we're still in this scarcity to abundance mindset shift, which is so powerful. And that's what we want to talk about today is like ROI, like who's looking for return on investment, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in corporate, whether you're, an artist, a business person, a sales clerk, it doesn't even matter. You could be a janitor. Return on investment is like, man, I'm investing in my growth, in my wealth, my worth, and we want to see that 10x, 100x, 1000x. And what I believe, and Zulu and I've talked a lot about this, is that the fastest way to get there is going to be the flow state or the state of flow, and specifically your unique flow state. And just to define what we're talking about, because we're going to use flow state a lot, or I'm going to use it a lot. Um, this is a well-studied phenomenon actually now in sports psychology and neuropsychology, physiology even, is this state of no self, where the prefrontal cortex shuts down a little bit, the hypofrontality, which just means the rest of the brain is activated, limbic system, the amygdala, the hippocampus, the brainstem. You get this autonomic response where you get more adrenaline, you get a little more dopamine, you got some norepinephrine, anandamide, bliss comes online, pain relief comes online. You're focused on the target. You have tunnel vision for bliss, and you actually perform your best. And if you
I
really
got, I
search
got,
your life,
I got these pimples as you're talking about
woo, come
it.
on, come on, I'm in the flow state right now. Let's go, fam. Like this is the place of optimal impact and least effort. It's a magical zone. Athletes call it being in the zone, right? But I can get in the zone in conversation. I can get in the zone doing any kind of movement, breath practice. I can get in the zone, driving. I can get in the zone meditating. There's many pathways to get into the flow state. But there's an intimate connection that we want to draw in this episode between that state of consciousness and state of doing. So I'm talking about acting from that place and ROI, your bank account. There's a direct correlation. And we want to draw out some of the relationships there using this model that we're seeing. Like, this is root, sacral, solar plexus level stuff, this is the stuff of money. And I think a lot of people have money blocks. I know I've had money blocks. I'm still working through money blocks. We all are. We're all stepping into more and more abundance. And Zulu, I'm curious,
Wow. You just said we're all stepping into more and more abundance when the clock said 11, 11, 11. That's crazy.
Woo, come on. Come on. Spirit says yes. Spirit says yes. So yeah, man, Zulu, this might be a good place to bring in, the WuWei, or your concept of this, and then we'll flow from there into some other ideas that can help anchor this.
100%, man. And if we're talking return on investment as well, a lot of people look at me and they look at anyone who's kind of super productive, super proactive. They're really effective with their actions. They seem to just be always on. Some people are like, how is this person always on? No, not that we're always on. We definitely have ups and downs, but we have this understanding that everything is up and down. Everything is both and or. There's not either or. It's both and at all times. And when you have a deep understanding of this. This is the idea of WuWei, allowing WuWei to flow through. And WuWei essentially is a state of non-doing. So it is a state of not just not doing anything, but actually getting things done. It is a state of effortless ease or effortless effectiveness. So you're hyper effective. And this kind of relates to the minimum effective dose. So coming to that MED, when you find a nice point that, we don't have to be super duper young, which is the yin yang. We don't have to be out there pushing and always exerting, always penetrating. That's, balancing that with a receptivity and being in the moment, being present, being able to hold. And we were talking about this, I think, the other day when we were saying, rather than setting an intention, saying this is what my intention is, my intention is from my own space. Whenever we set an intention, it's like, what is my intention? And it's like, it's a curious, it's an opening, I wonder what it is, and it's an allowing it to come in and come through, So when we operate from this space here, then this is why I love Qigong so much, because you're in a lot of poses that are really difficult. They're in a state, you're holding a pose, you're like, everything in you screaming, why the fuck am I doing? Why am I in this? Why are we doing this? Like, this is painful. I want to get out. But when we sit with that and allow and open up, we realize that actually, if we resist that discomfort, that pain, that urge to get away from, which is the aversion, and also the same is on the other side. If blissful, it's amazing. We don't want to cling to that either. But we just are able to notice both and just be like, actually, the more that I let go and open up and allow, the easier it gets. And this is why I love the concept of when we do what is easy, life becomes hard. And when we do what is hard, life becomes easy. This is the core concept. Yeah, that people understand when we cultivate discipline. And you actually start wanting to be more and more disciplined the more that it comes. Because this is state of allowing, this state of WuWei, for me, is almost beyond flow state. This is like, it's got flow states, which are when we're creating from this space, it's easy, it's effortless, you're online, but then you also have that crash as well. But when we're operating from the space of WuWei, we are actually becoming in line with that universal will, where we're grounding it into reality through the earth. We're grounding both of these energies, that earth energy, mother, that nurturing energy, that sky, that father energy, both yin and yang, or yang and yin, if you will, through our body. And, I guess you could see this as the line in the yin yang, or this is the idea of making it happen and letting it happen. Ride that wave, that beautiful line in between. That's when everything starts to become effortless. People look at me and especially the guys in my mastermind, they're like, wow, it is true. The more that we do the Qigong, the more that we apply the formulas, which are tracking, which are really being open to our intention, they're like by 12 o'clock, they've done more than they usually do in a week. You know,
Right.
it's amazing. It's incredible. So this is the idea of tapping into Wu Wei. It's not a hustle, giving outward energy. It's an open, relaxed. We can do it right now. If we just all take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, just feel yourself opening up, expanding, relaxing from the inside.
Mm.
And also, I
Yeah.
like to accompany it with a little smile on the face, on the corners of the lips, corners of the eyes curl upwards. You have this uplifting energy that's not effortful, it's super effortless. And as you breathe in, that smile broadens. And as you exhale, you open, expand, dissolve into nothingness. And that smile broadens even more.
Ooh, that's nice.
And when we're riding that wave of we're constantly just being here, present, we're inspiration, inhalation. And then with the exhalation, we're expiration, we're dying with each breath. And that is the practice, the practical practice of actually being in the making it happen and allowing it to happen.
Right.
And it's a way that we can bring the principle into practice.
Totally. Wow. Thank you for that activation, brother. That was amazing. This is a great conceptual frame, right? Wu Wei, which, in Chinese is just like the way, right? Like the capital W, the way or law of nature. And this is like the umbrella that flow states live underneath, right? And living in flow, like you're talking about, is under this huge umbrella of the universal Tao, right? It's like literally the Tao and the Wu Wei. And you can just think of that, if you don't connect with that as a Westerner, it's the law of nature. It's the way the stream flows. So if you can become cognizant of this and get into that state, you actually will be gaining the momentum of nature. You're not pushing the river, right? That's that over yang principle. And this is a key topic, I think, for this episode is like there's an idea in the West that I certainly experienced growing up that we have to do a lot. We have to like produce and do a lot to get money, and it has to be hard, right? Like I used to work 8 12-hour days for like $12 an hour. It's crazy how much effort I was exerting and not gaining that much power or energetics back. And when you create from a flow state, I mean, wow, you got a lot of energy. You can do it all day long because it's a sense of play and of ease for you. At least it is for me, depending on your flow state. And yeah, we got a lot of people joining. I want to invite anyone watching right now. If you got a journal or notebook with you, like let's get into this. Let's capture some of this stuff, ask some questions, drop some stuff in the comments. You guys want to engage with us. We're going to keep going through some of our best hacks, models, and understandings to leverage flow states for money, like just specifically return on investment. And this isn't just about making money, right? This is also how you spend money. This is a push and pull, right? How are you spending your money and what are you investing in that's going to create the most, you know, health, wealth, and relationship, happiness, and well-being in your life? Um, yeah, this is really important. Caroline has a question here. I don't understand the whole idea of things becoming easier. Like, fuck, I just don't make it complicated to begin with. 10x in a harder and easy situation. Either way, you've chosen the situation, so choose to grow. So can you be going in the wrong direction if there's a movement? Well, I mean, that's an interesting question. As the Cheshire Cat says to Alice, where are you going? I don't know. It's like, well, it doesn't matter which way you go then. She's asking the cat, like, which way should I go? It's like, well, where are you trying to get to? It's like, I don't know. It's like, well, any way will do. And that might be true, Caroline, like, any way will work if you don't have a destination. But we're talking about setting goals. Like, pick a date, pick a number, pick a monetary amount. And like, as you're saying, Zulu, when you're that specific and clear, man, you'd be surprised at how much you can get done. And I know this in my own life, my own routines. If I just have a vague goal, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, at some point. Never happens. Never happens. Even
Yeah.
if a lot of mental energy was spent, I can spend less energy with a target and bullseye it reliably if I'm cultivating the flow state. You know what I'm saying?
That's it in action as well. That vividness. This is every time we do the Qigong set, every time I have a session with a client, every time I have a webinar with the mastermind, anytime I run a facilitator space, a ritual, whatever it is, we start with a really strong, vivid intention. We spend a lot of time vibrating and cultivating and intentionalizing the intention itself. And we spend time really dropping into the vibration, the frequency of that, because as we know, we don't we don't manifest things that we are resisting or we're putting out and we're kind of striving for. What we attract is what we vibrate. So we attract what we think and what we feel as well. So this is what you just said is beautiful because you're very specific, very vivid, but there's not this like want, there's not this need to hold on to that. You set that strong and then you let go and you drop into flow, right? And you
Mm,
start vibrating that energy and allow it to just it already exists in the subconscious or the universal mind. So you vibrate at that frequency, then it becomes effortless. It's not about the striving for everything. It's just vibrating at, and you will attract naturally your vibrational match. This is like it's like a
right,
radio tuning, right? And you just tune your vibration into the station, which whatever it is, if it's abundance, if it's relationship, if it's productivity, if it's love, joy, relaxation, rest, whatever it might be, you tune into that. The universe can't help but match that and deliver you it. It's not an effortful
right.
thing.
You don't get what you do, you get what you are. That's a big
Exactly.
one. It's like being has to come first. It's not do be, it's be do, right? Like that's a next level understanding. And this brings in talking about being. I want to talk about ikigai. We're pulling a lot from Eastern philosophy here because man, the sages in the East, guys, they're on some next level shit. And if you don't believe me, go read the Tao Te Ching. Go check out Qigong, check out Zen Buddhism. These guys are on it, on it. You got it right there, of course. Boom, Tao Te Ching. That's the handbook for flow states and WuWei right there. But I want to talk about ikigai, which is a Japanese word that has no English translation. And ikigai is a very powerful state where four polarities meet. And it has to do with life purpose and ROI for sure. So ikigai is the intersection of what you are best at, what you love doing the most, what helps the most people, and what the world needs the most, or there's the most demand for. And so the ikigai is the state where all four of those are overlapping, which wow, this is a lifelong practice, maybe lifetimes to actually find this and bullseye it every time. Because you can get two out of three of those if you're lucky, two if you're good, but to get all four is very powerful. So I've used ikigai in my life and in my coaching with my clients to help orient my energy and orient their energy. Because if you're aiming at this, what you're best at, what you're most passionate about, what there's a demand for, and what brings you the most money, energy, ROI, that is a very sacred route. That's a direct route into, that blissful state of ease, wu wei, and mastery. That's actually where you're going to cultivate mastery. And I know Zulu, you do a lot of this. You talk about like how many reps, right? 10,000 days. This is a lot. The
Yeah.
game here is like using flow states to get positive feedback loops started, right? We're brain training. And the flow state, I think someone on the comments was talking about brain state. Someone just came out of a meditation. Appreciate you for sharing that. If y'all are tuning in, like,
Jules,
we'd love
Jules
to know.
Ashby said, Jules
Jules,
Ashby said, this is so aligned. I just finished giving a meditation talk and talking about brain states. I love that I turned on my phone and we were talking about flow state. That is exactly what we're talking about, vibrating at the frequency and it being attracted to you. And there's Laurel is asking a really good question as well. She says, so do both of you feel as though you found financial stability through flow state? And for
great
me, I'd
question.
have to say 100%. So like it's exactly that. It's never effortful to attract or manifest money, to actualize it, to whatever it is. If it's financial abundance or if it's physical health or if I want more socializing, whatever the energy is, understanding that thoughts are things, thoughts create our reality. It's really understanding that we have the ability to self-regulate and thoughts will happen, but it's up to us to decide what we allow into our consciousness.
Right.
So this isn't very difficult. It's more difficult to be unconscious and to have things happen to us. That
Right.
is the ethical thing when things and we're at the effect of our environment.
Totally. And yeah, to answer your question as well, great question. If you guys have questions, toss them in the comments. We'll get to them. Like, 100%. And I'll give you two examples because I've created from outside of flow state where I know that flow states are important to me, such as freestyle rap, such as breath work, such as yoga, such as, you know, running, swimming. These things work for me only when I commit to them. So I've created money through programs, coaching packages where I like really grinded and applied my mind and was like, all right, I'm going to be hyper logical. Here's the strategy. Here's the tactics. It doesn't feel good, but you know, fuck it. I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs hustle, right? This is me like a year and a half ago. And I would just push, push, push. It's funny because I would still get clients that way and I would sell packages, but I was getting a fraction of the price when the first time I stepped into power, channeled from a flow state, didn't plan it, didn't like hyper, you know, try to grasp it, but I trusted and I trusted in power and offered a lot of value. I made 3 times the money with like a tenth of the effort. So that was a big example and a bridge for me where I know it sounds kind of abstract, like how do you create financial freedom from flow states? I work at, you know, Target, I work at an office, law firm, whatever. You know, I don't know what you do for money, but even there, like when you're in your work day and you're doing tasks, what's the place it's arising from? Is it a place of I have to, here's the plan, dot, dot, dot? Or is it that place of ikigai, that sacred place of like, wow, this may not be what I'm most excited to do, but I'm still going to create it from a flow state. And this is also a good reminder, you know, if you're living in a way that you're achieving finances and there's no flow state involved at all, you're not in a state of ease of performance, this might be a call to adventure for you, that it's probably imperative that you find out what that is and make steps to transition towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a
That
beautiful thing.
that sort of just leads us in a little bit in terms of that. If we start talking about what we were mentioning with the chakra system and overlaying that, really cultivating that sense of self-worth, that you are worthwhile, that you know, and then moving up and having that strong identity. Do you have an identity as somebody who's a starving artist, or you know, really kind of workaholic, or you
Yeah.
know, what your identity? That is the being phase of the be do have, right? What you were mentioning before, it's be do, not do be. You could be the be do brothers as opposed to the do be brothers, right? And so if we talk about the chakras on that, on overlaying that, then allowing ourselves to move up into that shine, that radiance, and having that power plexus, and really solidifying the worthiness, the okayness with all those areas, and asking yourself, what is the identity that I'm walking around attached to, or that I believe I am, and maybe that might need a shift, or maybe I'm looking after my physical needs. This is, we talk about the hierarchy of needs, hierarchy of values, and so on and so forth. If you're talking about what's our man's name, the man that self-actualization, the guy before Mihai, what's his name?
um
Maslow. We're talking
Maslow's,
Maslow,
yeah.
hierarchy of needs. So if you're not getting those basics met, this is the foundation of that pyramid. You know, that will definitely have a direct impact on your ability to cultivate wealth and do it easily.
It's true. It's true. There's a great question here from Angel. She's like, is the goal always to make a lot of money with as little effort as possible? I mean, my gut reaction, I just want to laugh my ass off. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And the key word here, Angel, you know, not making fun of your question at all. It's beautiful. The key word is
Beautiful.
effort. With effort. You know, to reframe that question one way, my goal is to make a lot of money with as much value as possible and as little effort. And this is I'm gonna call him my bro Joe Polish. He runs a next level mastermind that like Tony Robbins and Brennan Burchard, all the high level players in personal development are part of, Genius Network. And he talks about elf money. And this is what I use with my clients and I've used. I want to make elf money, Angel. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Elf money is easy, lucrative, and fun. So it's easy to make that money either because I've done it before or it comes from a place of
Okay.
ease. It's lucrative, which is exactly what you just described. Making as much money with as little effort as possible. That's known as lucrative. And then it's fun. If it's fun, you're going to keep doing it, right? A gentleman at this ranch I was at a mastermind at was like, no fun, no do. So we're talking about be do, no fun, no do. And that's
That's the no
true.
go zone.
That's true. Like if you're not having fun, even on a little level, why will you keep doing it? You're gonna have to push yourself to do it, and now you're out of a flow state. If you're pushing, you're stuck, right? Because that's not gonna work for you. And yeah, I
It's not
really
going to
want
be
to
sustainable as well. If it's not fun
exactly.
for you, you might be able to do it for a week, a month, a year. You'll get burnt out.
You're gonna burn out.
But if it is fun, you wake up. This is what I was saying earlier to some people, that I have to force myself to go to sleep a lot of the time because I'm filling the flow bank up. Because it's like, well, everything that I'm doing is something that fills me up, something that I love, something that is my bliss. And by the end of the day, I'm energized. I'm not tired
Right.
and worn out. Even the things that I do that are tiresome, climbing, lifting weights, exercising, all of this stuff. This is for the physical vitality, but it is exhausting. But I love them so much that I want to keep doing them. I want to do them for 5 hours. I
Right.
want to continue. By the time I get to bed, I'm like, all right, 1 a.m. is the cutoff. That's my curfew. I have to limit myself on these ways, and that's the discipline, I guess. And
Totally.
it's exactly what you're talking about there. And I just wanted to touch it back on as well, just that idea of that self-worth, establishing that self-worth, that identity, that self-love, and that wealthy mindset. How can you link the two, that elf money mindset to all of these base, the base chakras and the basis of ourselves?
Totally. This is important to go back to the chakras, and I wonder if you guys watching right now are vibing with this, but there's like core questions at these centers, right? This is our root. This is literally our root, the lower dantian, upper dantian, and solar plexus, right? This is like our lower body. And the root question is like, am I safe? Am I safe, secure, and vital? Do I have vitality and do I have physical security? So that's level one in Maslow's hierarchy, right? Maslow's pyramid of needs. You got to be physically safe and healthy before you can start thinking about being super wealthy. So I'm talking about, fam. Like to get into a flow state too, you got to be vital. So this is level one, like root red, like that like basic need to be safe, secure in the physical body and to be healthy and thriving in the physical body. So that's the starting point. Then we go sacral, right? Sacral is like, am I in relationship? Am I connected to creativity, to play, to pleasure, to tribe, right? Sacral is all about like connecting. It's that water element. It's what's sacred.
And and this touches on exactly what Angelique is saying. If we switch perspectives to the consumer standpoint, does that model feel good to you? And just touching there on the community, on the tribe, on that playfulness and that connection with tribe, just yeah, relate it to that question if you can. Exactly that point there. It's perfectly addressing that right now.
That's perfect. Yeah. Like, so if you're from a consumer standpoint, what would I want to consume or purchase? And who would I want to do business or be in relationship with is another way to phrase that. That's what I'm hearing you say, Angel. Um, wow. I want to personally, I want to purchase from people creating from a valuable space of WuWei and flow because I know based on my own practices with flow state that this person, whatever value offer they have, whatever product or service, it's going to be created from that pure place of play, creativity, and high value from their unique expression. It's not going to be something they had to force, right? Or it's not going to be something that they had to grind and leak their life force out for. It was created from joy. And things where they originate is a very key marker of where they're going to go, right? The origin point is everything. So the origin point of your dollars, a lawyer might work 80 hours a week in his partner law firm and hate it and be an alcoholic. But he's a high performer. He gets the best cases. He makes 600 grand a year. But would you want to do business with that person? Would you want to give him dollars or do a business transaction with that person? I personally wouldn't. I'd much rather go to the lawyer who's in a flow state. He's at ease. He's in creative power. I can feel his sacral fluidity, and yeah, and I can
And you
also feel
and
his identity, his worth, which is the solar.
and you can see that as well in, even if you're on a, I know for me that I love being sold to when it's in it from a state of wu-wei. If I'm being sold to from a place of effort, a place of need, a place of this person wants to take from me and not give to me, that feels gross. It feels icky. It feels like I'm being pressured. It feels like it's not a flowing interaction. When somebody's actually cares about me, that they're operating space, if they don't need anything, they just want to give and serve, and they're opening a space for me to take me on a journey or to fulfill a need or a value of mine, then it's effortless. It's like I'm throwing my credit card at them. I'm throwing my details at them. Like, when can we begin? And on the other end as well, if I'm operating from a space of need, a lack, or it's like tension, it's not ease and flow, then I know that the person, no matter how good my technique is, my principles are on a sales call, they can feel the energetics of the need, the want, the take, the tension, and that lack of ease and flow. When I'm operating from the ease and flow, people are just like, yeah, of course, this makes sense, and I can feel energetically, even if I'm not doing all the principles right of the words or whatever that
Sure,
I'm saying
sure.
in the call. They know that I'm operating from a place of, I don't really need it. I don't really want it to take from you. I just want to serve you. And they can feel that. And they're like, yeah, even though it was a bit choppy with the words, maybe I can feel energetically that will be a good match.
Right. It's a great point. It's the words and the scripts. If you're in sales or marketing or whatever, and like you saying the right words, but you're not holding the right frequency, people are going to know. Even if they don't know, they know, right? They know. Their heart knows, their subconscious knows. And this is an important understanding. Like, this is a new paradigm in economics, because the old paradigm, the generation of my mother and father and my grandmother and grandfather, they're all about hustle, and like the disconnected kind of hustle, right? Produce, perform, and shut up about it. Don't want, this is not for whiners, right? You're going to sweat blood and tears. Work hard. That's how you become successful. This is not the new game. We still need people to build the roads, clean the toilets, like honor and respect. I'm not saying everyone is just creating from flow states and blissed out. We still got to be like, chop wood, carry water.
Even that, if you are building roads, if you are working a job, I've worked many jobs which is hard labor, which is very, if I'm operating from a space of, oh my God, I hate this, I'm
Yep.
not doing something I love. If I can relate the hard work to something I love, which I love mindfulness, I love travel, I love physical movement. If I can attach the hard work and see how it benefits all the areas of my life that I do love, it becomes effortless. It becomes a practice of flow. I can do the trudgery, the hustle. It's not like it's one or the other. You can actually attach it to both.
Totally, totally. So to move on here, like really the bottom line and like the takeaway, especially for entrepreneurs watching this, um, if you're not creating from a flow state, then you're creating a place of unsustainable energy and momentum. If you're not aligned with a flow state as a business person, as an entrepreneur, especially, although as you're saying, Zulu, this applies to anyone, even the janitor, you're going to burn out at some point, right? Because the energy is just, it's not feedback, it's not feed forward, right? It's not in symbiosis. And so it's not with natural law, it's not with WuWei, which means you can do it until you can't. At some point, the energy will rebalance. And so knowing this, and you can verify this in your own life, you don't need to take my word for it or our word for it. You can verify this with direct experience. Knowing this, the intelligent, true intelligence, capital I, is like, man, I should create from flow states. If I'm going to sell someone, if I'm going to create a program, a business, anything, a product, guess where it needs to come from? So you can sustain that and be of more service and of more value, and therefore of more wealth.
Yeah.
That's it.
And just to sprinkle a little bit on that, that's so powerful. Exactly what you're saying. Having operating from a flow state is, whether you like it or not, is a sustainable model. It's like, whether it's whatever it is, it's that idea of doing what is difficult, life becomes easy. It might be difficult to attain these flow states, but once you're in there, you're riding the wave. It might be difficult to learn to paddle onto the wave. That's the hardest
Right.
part. Once you're in the wave, the wave just carries you along, and then you're there, right? So in that, I just wanted to add a little piece of a little salt bay on there of sprinkling some gratitude on, because gratitude is one of the most
Mm.
powerful emotions and energies that we can operate with. And for me, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, I'm alive again. Here we go again. I'm just like, the smile on my face is like, oh my Lord, I breathe. I'm alive, and I just feel this appreciation. And gratitude is essentially the energy of appreciation or thankfulness, thanks, and being thankful for what already is. And we can take it another level further and be thankful for what already is. I know that my thoughts are already things. So it's like whatever I think,
Bingo.
whatever I vibrate at, I can be thankful for that as well. And even though I might not be seeing the clients, or I might not be seeing the travel, or I might not be seeing the relationship, or whatever it might be, if I can feel that gratitude for it as if it already is, then this is the idea of appreciation. And what we appreciate grows, as in, same
Bingo.
with money, we're talking ROI, appreciate, it becomes an asset. You know, these are this anything that we appreciate, if we appreciate our assets, we appreciate the all of that which we are manifesting into our lives, then they actually become assets, and our assets accrue. And you know, the same thing happens with our liabilities. You know, what we don't appreciate becomes a liability or an area of
Mm,
opportunity that is that creates leaks in our flow tank. You know, and that flow tank, filling the flow tank, filling the flow bank up. It's like a flow tank. We're depositing into our flow bank. And when we deposit into our flow bank, which is appreciation, it is doing the things we love, it is doing things that are easeful and effortless, dropping into WuWei, all of this, then that flow tank becomes overflowing and then flows. We become full, we become fulfilled. And then those in our immediate, you know, whether it's our clients, whether it's our family, whether it's our tribe, whether it's anyone, our co-workers, whatever it is, then what we have, we can't help but improve the lives of those around us. That, you know, we
exactly.
become we become an object of appreciation that appreciates. You know, I love appreciation. I love when I do something and someone appreciates it. I'm like, oh my Lord, I thoroughly appreciate being appreciated. I don't need any
Yes.
gratitude. I don't need any of that gratis, you know,
Right.
but if you genuinely appreciate me, then that is a beautiful feeling, you know.
Totally. It's a great, yeah, what appreciates, appreciates. It's a mantra, simple, because right, your interest in your stock savings bonds account appreciates, right? It appreciates annual interest, monthly interest. Gratitude's the master emotion that does this for your physical, energetic body. When you appreciate something, even if you don't have it yet, this is one of those hacks, right? You're calling it into your state because you're being in that vibration of gratitude. And gratitude is also a great pathway out of an anti-flow state, aka a downward spiral. If you can anchor gratitude, it'll actually pull you back up into the upward spiral at any moment. And
I'd love
that's
to
a
hear from the people. What are you guys appreciating? What are you grateful for? Like, let's just bombard this thread with all the things that you're grateful for.
yeah,
You know,
let
I
us
know
know.
I know for me, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for breath. I'm grateful for the garbage collector who collects the garbage. I'm grateful to
Seriously.
have electricity flowing here. Grateful for the opportunity to share with you guys. I'm grateful for this technology that allows us to be in the same room together, even though we're opposite side of the world. Grateful
Right.
for Mark Zuckerberg. I'm grateful for even all the craziness that is going on in the world, all the suffering, all of that, because it inspires me to really be more of what I want to see in the world. So I'm grateful for so much, and I'd love to hear from everyone else. You know, what are you feeling grateful for right now? Let's cultivate this gratitude in this live right now.
Yeah, bring it in, fam. What are you grateful for? I love what you said, Zulu. All those things, the clean water, the fresh food, the plants and the animals, the sun and the moon. Like, I'm so grateful for that right now. Um, wow. Jules, Ryan, what's up, y'all? Thanks for commenting. Ben had a question here. What's the difference between appreciation and interest? That's a good one. Interest is another one of those words, right? It has that double
It's
meaning.
interesting, isn't it? It's
It's
interesting.
interesting. Yes. Here we go. Grateful for the bacon I'm cooking. Grateful for you two having this conversation. Thanks, Carlos. Wow.
Grateful that you guys
April.
have the heart to share what's within your souls and just wanting to help others. It helps me affirm that my mind is going in the right direction. Grateful for social
Yes.
media and my ability to impact people on it. I'm grateful to be here on Earth at this time right now. Excellent. Keep them coming. Keep them flowing.
Yeah, fam. So much gratitude. Jai is grateful to be on live with you tomorrow. Yeah, me and Jai are going to do a little podcast session tomorrow. Grateful for heartbreak. Wow. It's got me enough pain to look at myself and heal. Thanks, Kate. That's amazing. So true. Liz, grateful for the moment. Catherine, thank you. Got some serious gratitude, y'all. That gratitude is that master key. It's a master key to awaken a lot of love and power in our lives. Zulu, you froze. I don't know what happened here. Hopefully you're coming
Am
back.
I back again?
You're back. You're back. What's up? So yeah, the
Just got a phone call.
gratitude. The gratitude light bombs are just coming in hot. Yeah, April, grateful that you guys have the heart to share what's within your souls, wanting to help others, helps me affirm my mind is going in the right direction. Yeah, if you're on this video, you're in the right place. You're going in the right direction for real. For real. Yeah, modern science is able to validate our ancient sacred traditions and knowledge, thus attracting more energy to the awakening. Lauren, yes. That's what we're doing right now. We're using social media to transmit these codes and this amazing reality that we're sharing of a earth created economically, financially, and physically from what we're talking about, the flow state, the state of WuWei, the state of non-doing, of passion and purpose. That's really what the bottom line is here and where we're building to, right? Like the solar plexus. So there's the train. The train agrees, the breakthrough train here in Encinitas. The place we're going, guys, is like solar plexus. Identity, I am, I do. It's connected to the hands, connected to that big breath into the belly where you feel the tingles. You want to act in the world, right? Because if you have a strong identity and self-worth, you're going to act. And that's what we're calling in the gratitude to get ourselves smiling, that inner smile. Like, that's it. Like, man, I'm so grateful that I have food, water, and shelter and good relationships and positive energy and mindsets around me and available to me. I'm grateful that we have this internet that's so beautiful and powerful that can help us share in this vision together. And so thank you guys for commenting. Keep them coming if y'all are still feeling it. Zulu, I want to touch on one other thing about getting flow states for ROI, and that's the hacking aspect, right? We're talking a lot about like the vision here, the philosophy, but I want to give y'all some tactical stuff too, like hacks into flow state. And these are just some of my favorites. And Zulu, I love if you share some of yours. Maybe yours are different, but I'll just give you the ones that work for me every single time. I just did some on the beach earlier, and that is breath work and breath holds, aka pranayama and bandhas. If you're a yogi, the bandhas are the locks, right? We have Mula Bandha, Jnana Bandha, and Jala Bandha, and I forget the other one, but like doing breath work, breathing in deep, whether that's nose or mouth, and then getting a rhythm going. And there's multiple types, right? There's breath of fire, you can do it quick. There's square breathing, you can do it slow. There's Wim Hof, which you can do slow and then hold. And when you do this, you're going to pull in more oxygen, you're going to alter your consciousness, change the levels of CO2, oxygen, and nitrogen. This is a quick way into a flow state because you're going to be in a state of embodied bliss and actually mental clarity. So I don't touch a client session, I don't touch a live video unless I've done breath work that day. And that's been my rule all year. I think it's largely responsible for a lot of my financial ROI this year, to bring it full circle.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with that. Breath is one of the fastest ways into flow. It's one of the most direct access points. I was talking to Brian last night about this, about the breath being one of the most direct, immediate access points for flow or the moment or the now. You know, anytime we're accessing the now, that is, you know, where we can drop into flow easily when we're in the now. If we're in the mind, if we're, you know, not in the moment, worried about the past, worried about the future, it's a quick way out of flow.
Yep.
As soon as body awareness, mindfulness as well. So mindfulness is the three-part process where it is the first part being sensory acuity, so dropping into the body and understanding and just being aware of and observing the sensations in the body right now in the moment. As soon as you're aware of what you're feeling, you're going to access the moment, right? And the next part of mindfulness is the ability to concentrate, our concentration power, so to focus on one thing and eliminate all our attention can just focus on one thing and eliminate anything else that isn't that thing. And then the last part is equanimity or equanimity, and not attaching, not aversion. It's not being like, oh, I like this, I want this more, and getting too excited about it, or not being like, oh, this is gross, I want to get away from it. You know, it's just this is what it is, and it's soon going to change. and operating from that spot as well. That for me is an access point into flow. And one of the fastest ways for me that I've found is Qigong. Yeah, back. So is Qigong. You know, I've got different sets you can do. You can do a 3 minute set, an 8 minute set, a 20 minute set, 50 minute set, 90 minute to it, all the different lengths, but just dropping into the ideas of Qigong, which is the ideas of WuWei, the idea of song, which is opening, it's relaxation, it's loose, being loose from inside. We've been mentioning them a lot throughout the process, you know, throughout this live, sorry, which is things like doing what is difficult and then things becoming easier, you know. For me, if you get an opportunity to experience Qigong or meditation or mindfulness, 100% try it out, because for me, that's one of the most direct, immediate, quick uh, access points for flow, for the moment, for mindfulness, for presence. And all of these things come naturally. Once we're talking about appreciation, we're talking about gratitude, we're talking about presence, we're talking about being here now, we're talking about all of these things, we're talking about uh, you know, all of this ROI. For me, that's one of the biggest ROIs that I can find. If I do my
Bingo.
qigong, then 100% my day is going to go smoothly. 100%. If I don't do it, it's you know, or if I drag it on and don't do it till the evening, you know, my day is a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult. And and again, that, I guess that difficulty is the stringing the days together. You know, I would suggest it's much better to do, or for me, you know, I'm not everyone else, but for me, I find it's much more beneficial for me to do 10 minutes a day for 300 days as opposed to 300 minutes a day for 3 months. You know, that's
Right.
what creates the inconsistency. But if I can do a little
Yep.
bit each day, then I actually boost my self-esteem. I boost my self-efficacy. I boost my self-worth. I boost my self-belief. And this is the core of what we're talking about. This is the bottom three chakras. If they're not firing, how can we then really open up the heart? How can we really step into our expression? How can we start living our vision? How can we know what our purpose is if our basis isn't, if our foundations aren't strong?
Bingo. That's it. That's it. And you touched on like the other major hacks, like, if you want to get into a flow state more quickly and get tactical with it, this is the way. And movement is what you're talking about. Qigong's like mindfulness, movement, and breath linked together in this like mixed epic portal, right? And I found Qigong and Tai Chi before yoga, yoga being the one I went all in on. But wow, this is it, y'all. Like the ones I want to add for hacks into a flow state that work for me every time if I actually commit: two, dance and song, voice,
Mm.
freestyle, even toning. If I commit to these and get all in, and I'll literally put these in my routine, I'll do these before I step into calls, before I go into processes, you know, just dance. Like put on your favorite track, dance like nobody's watching, even if you don't feel like it. This is the key. You might be like, oh, this is weird, or like, your ego's like, this is stupid, like I'm sore. I gotta do all this stuff. No, no, no. Like treat it with commitment and just dance it out. At some point you'll start sweating and you'll break through. The ego mask will start to shake loose, and that little sense of little kid joy, that childlike joy, will start arising up your spine, and then all of a sudden, ooh, I'm in a flow state. And it's the same thing for me with freestyle. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I do this a lot. I'll just pop on the live. I'll do one track, just bars, like singing, playing with my voice, toning, rapping. Boom. I'm in a total flow state. Let me take a sales call. What's that on the other line? Oh, yeah, ROI. It's ROI because I'm in the state. I don't need to like fake a funk. I got the vibration. So song and dance are really easy ways into that, really powerful ways into that.
Yeah, and another way for me, I would 100% agree that flow, you know, literally rapping is flowing, right? And
Yeah.
it's like we're accessing the flow. It's no mind. We're accessing one way because we have to. The more mind is there, the more difficult it becomes. The less mind is there, the more you're accessing the moment, accessing that outside of mind state and that no mind state. And what are cool little ones as well that I find is like shaking, like so just literally shaking the body out,
Yeah.
tapping. This is awakening chi, tapping that awakened flow. And another one is expressing gratitude, expressing appreciation to others. So sometimes if I'm not feeling so great, I'll send out 20 to 50 messages. Hey, I just wanted to just touch base and just say how much I appreciate you or how much I see you or, you know, what's happening in your world. I just wanted to let you know that somebody cares. And I make it less about me and I'm in my mind and I'm beating myself, whatever it is, I'm in a low state. If I start getting extroverted and putting my awareness out there, very good hack for dropping into flow as well. Even just noticing things around me, like that's a glass, that's incense, that's some Palo Santo, that's a book, and I put my awareness outside of me, this can really turn around and switch me back into an empowered, a resourceful state.
It's a great point. Opposite of depression, expression. That's a great pathway right there, is like connecting out to tribe, because you're going to create ROI and you're going to be in these states with a community. Nothing happens by itself, right? You're part of an ecosystem. So this is really important. And, you know, if I could give you any takeaways, if there was an intention and a rootedness to this episode, this first episode of the series, is like to really help you reprogram ROI. When I hear ROI, I want to think about return on investment from a flow state, because I invested in a flow state, right? And I invested in my passion and purpose and these practices we're sharing. You know, that's the investment I want to make. I don't want to think about ROI like, you know, Chase Bank and Bank of America and, you know, all these places that like, you know, that there's ROI there too, like respect to them, but that's not the only vibration, you know. I really am inviting you, and we're inviting you with this series to rethink what it means and wire up your money pathway, right? Neurons that fire together, wire together. We want to rewire the neuron pathway of money with flow. Money, flow. That's why they call it flow, right? It's like, hey, you got 20
Flow is
bucks?
valuable.
Let me flow you.
It's cash flow, right? It's cash
Cash
flow.
flow. Exactly.
That's right. So this
Exactly.
is, and cash is the way that we generate cash is value, right? And so if you're giving yourself value and you're giving value out in the world, you know, we want to be investing in things that are valuable, right?
Hmm.
So this is value. The more you value yourself, the more value you create in the world, the more value will flow to you. It's impossible to be wealthy if you're generating so much value in the world that you're improving people's lives, you're bringing value. And value, we can't define value. Like the value is defined by other people saying, actually, this whatever this guy is delivering, this girl's delivering, this person's delivering is valuable to me. It's solving a problem. It is useful for me. It's improving my life. You know, that is how it is. So if you're delivering stuff and you're not getting the feedback that is valuable, tweak and listen and open and learn to other people to be like, oh, actually, you know, I'm listening, I'm learning, and that then I can come back into myself and say, oh, what will be more valuable? It's not about me. It's about who you're delivering value to. So,
Bingo.
yeah, on that, I really, I do kind of, I don't like to hope, but I trust that what we've been delivering is valuable for you guys. And if it has been valuable, definitely share this on your walls, invite people, tag people. We've got the events coming up in a week and the following week as well. We're delivering all of this for free. We're not charging you guys. We're just flow jamming it out. And if any of this has been valuable, definitely invite some people along, because we would love to see more of us investing in flow, investing in ourselves, investing in creating value in the world, because it's going to be a better world if more people are delivering value and dropping into flow states. That's what I believe anyway.
Totally. That's my mission. I love what you're saying. That's the mission right here. If you share this video, or even if you have a perspective on this, we can make this a meme, right? We can use Facebook to actually spread this meme of cash flow. That is cash from a state of non-doing, bliss, purpose, ikigai, the things we've been talking about. So if you guys want to share this out and then toss the hashtag reframing ROI. Let's make the Facebook AI put this out there, right? Like let's hack the social media algorithm to open this conversation. And you'll be really surprised, I think, when you see people have this conversation around money, right? I'm curious if anyone on this episode, you know, and I'd be happy if you drop in the comments, send us a message if you felt something come up, because I know a lot of people, you start talking about money, you start talking about ROI, financial freedom, how to create a lot of money, how to stand in your worth. It brings up these patterns, right? And I think that's why the reframing, the reprogramming here is crucial, because what it's doing is like, oh, okay, I am safe. Oh, okay, yeah, I am in pleasure and creativity. I have a tribe. Oh yeah, I have worth. I have power. Boom. We're working up the root here. We're building this pillar of like, you can stand in it. You can hold it. And ROI and money doesn't have to be something that's only of the mind, right? We're down in the heart space, down in the belly. We got a full spectrum ability and antenna here to create from, to serve from, and to add value to the world. That's what I'm all about.
100%, 100%. And one little last piece I'd like to just invite people to have a think about and maybe put into practice is this idea of the flow bank. So this is something I get all my guys in my mastermind, in my programs to do, is to make a list. You know, it could be 25 items on, the guys in the mastermind do 50 to 100, but we'll just start small. 25, 20 to 30 items, that things that you do that fill you with flow. Anything that fills you with flow. It could be going for a walk. It could be getting a massage. It could be doing some breath. It could be doing your bandhas. It could be doing some Qigong. It could be whatever it is for you. It could be playing with your dog, playing with your children, playing a board game, creating something, drawing, singing, that, whatever it is. Write down a list of 20 to 30 items that are your flow bank activities. And these are, when you invest your time and energy into these, time, energy, and money into these activities, then this is when you're going to start cultivating the ROI. You can also write a list of items. So anything in the flow bank is a flow zone activity, I like to call them. Anything that is a no-go zone activity, these are things that deplete you, that drain you, that you're being around people that, this could be being around people that drain you, gossiping, complaining, criticizing, focusing, being pessimistic, reading the newspaper, watching violent movies, whatever it is. Put these in your no-go zone activities, put them there so you can actually have a physical thing, which you don't have to think anymore. You just look at the list, do the item, bam, you're in flow. Or, oh, I'm doing the thing that is in my no-go zone, boom. As soon as you recognize that, do something from the other side of the list.
Right.
And share that in the chat. Some of the items and actions that are in your flow bank, and some of the items that are in your no-go as well. So that will be an actual practical way to start looking at where you're investing time, energy, and money.
Yes, yes. This is big, y'all. This is big. If you've been vibing with the message, go to the Facebook event. I'm gonna drop it below in the comments. Just select going. We got 2 more episodes, same time each Wednesday, each week. That way you'll get notifications. Make sure to turn them on. Otherwise, fam,
Thursday down under.
yeah, Thursday in Australia, Wednesdays, we're gonna do 2 more episodes. It's an exciting series. And at the end of this, we have a percolation, a seed, a crystal that's coming into being. So you definitely want to join us for the whole journey. Zulu, it's an honor, brother. I think this transmission is complete. We're coming up on the hour. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the comments. We'll see you on the news feed. Love you guys. Stay in flow.
Let's flow, fam.
Haha.